Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Al Shai by Shem Kodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. The Most High is only coming for the elect. Anyway, I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to entitle this video, The Prophets Prophesy. That's it. The prophets don't get involved in anything outside of prophesying. Now, the prophets, when you go to the Old Testament, when you go to the Acts of the Apostles, when you go into the scriptures in general, when you deal with the kings and princes and so forth, you had situations, when you go into the Old Testament during the time of King David, King Saul, King Saul and King David had ongoing wars with the Philistines because it was over the land. We go back to the history of the Philistines. The Philistines came out of the line of Mizraim, so they would be considered Egyptians. But they wanted that land of Canaan, but that was our land the Most High gave to us. So that's what the fight was over, that patch of land. Just like today, you have fights over the land. The Israeli government, they want the Palestine. Their goal. They're showing it. They want the. It's not about Hamas. It started with Hamas. It's about that land. They want to get them out of the land, and if they got to kill them, they're gonna kill them. And this is turning into a world war. But anyway, evil men do evil things, and people do whatever talent that was given to them, they do. And with that being said, the Most High set up prophets among Israel, among the Israelites. He set up the prophets, and they kept coming back. They would get old, they would die. Some of them would be put to death, but most of them, for the most part, died. And when they came back as prophets again. The spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. And what does a prophet do? As the title says, a prophet prophesies. That's it. They don't do anything else but prophesy. And especially this time, all we're doing is looking at the prophecies. All we're doing is checking out the news. Your local news, your CNN, your news is from other countries, your news companies from other countries, your alternative news, and then you weigh the balance as to what's going on in the world, because now this is a global thing. This is a geopolitical thing. So we here as the prophets of the Most High, and we are the prophets. We are out there going. What does a prophet do? They understand the word, they eat the word, they digest the word, and then they go out and push the word out, right? The Most High made it a lot more easier in this time than back during the time of Acts, or during the time, mainly I'd say Acts and the Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul had to actually physically go to these different journeys to talk to people and send epistles. So now the Most High gave us the internet. The Most High gave us the YouTube, and what any other platform you deal with is to push the word. The main platform we deal with is YouTube. Everybody's familiar with YouTube. You got a lot of pages that do the same things that YouTube does, like Odyssey, like what's the other one that I got? What's the other one? A Rumble, and then you got many others. That do the same thing that a YouTube does. You got TikTok, But the main one is YouTube. The main one is YouTube. They got Alex Jones. They banned him from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You know, they banned him from all like American-based platforms, but he's on Odyssey. And you know, because of his name, people know that he's on Odyssey. He has his own site that he controls. Then he's also on Rumble, and you got many of these, I'll say, Edomite that cover the Earth alternative news. They pushed a lot of them off. So where did they go to? They didn't stop. They went to Odyssey. They went to Rumble. They went to Rockfin. And there's many others. So you watch, and a lot of these guys are coming up with their own sites. They're not as popular as YouTube, but you know, sometimes I'll put up a controversial video, which I think might be controversial that YouTube might take down. I'll put like a little commercial, for lack of a better word, and say, well, you can watch this whole video on Odyssey or on Rumble. So anyway, our job on this earth is to push forth the word. That's it. Learn this word. Learn all the breakdowns, all the prophetic breakdowns, and then go out and push this word out. Regurgitate. And we've been doing that. I mean, nobody can say different. We've been doing that. Not involving ourselves in the other matters. Not getting carnal. You know, Romans 8. See, this situation is over. This thing that happened last weekend in Chicago. So now, one of the guys that's behind it, that's pushing this thing, is Chief Ephraim. And to all converge. And a lot of these guys that are going to converge haven't been out and speaking in maybe a couple years. So they're going out, you know, in a carnal mindset. The scriptures speak about, let me go to that. Proverbs. It's either Proverbs 6. I haven't gone to this in a while. Proverbs 6. It's either Proverbs 6:16 or the other way around. Let's see if I'm correct. Okay, Proverbs 6, verse 16. These things doeth Yahweh hate, yea, even 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Okay, let me pull something out of here. It says, 18 verse, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. So we said that you're going out there, those are feet to be swift to run into mischief. Let's look up the word mischief. Remember what Romans 8 says, a carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. The word there is right. I already know what that word means. It means evil. Bad, evil, bad, disagreeable, malignant, bad, unpleasant, evil, giving pain, giving pain, unhappiness, misery, evil, displeasing, a bad, hurtful, unkind, evil, wicked, of persons, of thoughts, deeds, and actions, evil, distress, misery. So the fact that certain individuals, Chief Ephraim was one of them, Priest Zabak was another one that said they co-signed on the thing that we're going to come out there with y'all and we're going to deal with them Palestinians. That's something that the prophets would never do. But where's the proof on that? Well, you go to Acts. Did not the apostles get beat by the wicked scribes and Pharisees? Their ministry wound up being 5,000. They could have easily said, okay, now we're going to get them Pharisees, that scribes that did what, we're going to fuck them up this time. That's a carnal mind. That's a carnal mindset. The Lord said, our Lord Yahweh Shai said this. It says, if this were my kingdom, my servants would fight. Now, in 70 AD, when they fought against the Romans and the Herodians' personal men of war, personal army, the Edomites, the head chief family, the Edomites, the Herodian dynasty, they had their own personal army that worked with the Romans. When our Lord was crucified, the soldiers that smacked him around, we always say it was the Roman. Nope, it was the Herodians' personal. That Herod that time, not Herod the Great, but one of his sons. It was his own personal army, his men of war. Matter of fact, let me do this. Men of war. Let's see what comes up. Coming to the New Testament. So it says right here, Luke, this is all I need. Luke 23, verse 11. And Herod, with his men of war, meaning his own personal army, set him at naught and mocked him and arrayed him. It wasn't the Romans that did this. It was Herod's personal army, and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe and sent him again to Pilate. And then it was the Romans that were a part of that too. I'm not saying the Romans didn't take part of it, but they took part of it along with the Herodians' men. When 70 AD took place, when the siege on Jerusalem took place, it was two armies that were fighting against the Israelites: the Roman armies and Herod's men of war. And believe it or not, on the side of Israel, there were actually Edomites that were fighting on our side because they heard about the gospel, so they were trying to get in, which they're not going to get in. Because some of them were following us. You had the Herodian dynasty. Their religion was what? The laws, which they called Judaism. So they were keeping the laws, the Passover, but then they were breaking the laws behind closed doors. That's why John the Baptist cursed out that particular Herod, for laying with his brother Philip's wife. And he was afraid of John. So John said, you claim to keep the laws, that you commit adultery. But even though they were Edomites, they said they were going to keep the laws, because ultimately, the whole plan is going to keep the laws. That's what it all boils down to. But they really wasn't keeping the laws. They were like the wicked scribes and Pharisees. Anyway, let me go on to these precepts. And secondary title would be less happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High. I said that we're prophets, so we'll see. If I see certain groups out there, I'll say these guys fit the prophets, because they're out there on the highways and the byways, all around, around the during all seasons. and so forth. And looking at certain other people that might not be out there consistent, they might be out there here and there. Then you don't see them for maybe a couple of years. Then if something major happens, they'll come out like they never left. These guys are not prophets. A prophet speaks before the prophecies take place. Not prophesy when it takes place. Not wait for the prophecy to take place and go out and prophesy. No, prophesy meaning to say before it happens. Like the MOTB, we here are known when anybody speaks about that's watching YouTube and the different Israelite groups. When the MOTB comes up, the MOTB, the C-HIP and all that, what name comes to mind? GMS comes to mind. And what names come to mind that debunk what we're saying? I'm using major camps. IUIC, ISUPK. They're saying no, GMS is going off. And it don't mean what it says it means. That's exactly what it means. Now, I don't know what Chief Ephraim's stand is. I don't know what Priest Zabak's stand is on the MOTB, but I know what their stand was. I don't know if they changed it, but they're going to have to do a lot. They got a lot of explaining to do when it actually takes place, and it is going to take place. Why? Because a prophet said that. Prophets have said that. And we're definitely living in the end of this thing. If it tarry, wait for it. It shall not tarry, for it shall surely come. We're in the time period of it coming. It's happening. The prophecies are popping off. And then you're going to find out who are the prophets. Then you shall know that there has been a prophet or prophets among you. There's going to come a time where he said, these guys, Most High got to be dealing with these guys. Everything they've been saying. I remember when they said that 10 years ago. It's coming to pass now. As soon as they make that breaking news and they transfer everything to a CBDC, central bank digital currency, where there's no more paper dollars. You got to get a digital currency that's backed by the government, so everything that you spend, there's a record on what you paid for. You go to BJ's or whatever, or Walmart or Target, and you buy, $55 worth of groceries and a fan or some other thing, some shampoo. It goes right to a government database. Oh, he purchased some soap. He purchased shampoo, and he spent $26.35 on groceries, and did this, and he purchased a fan, and he even know what time you did these things. Then he went out to get a gas at this particular gas station at this particular time, and he got $40 worth of gas or whatever. So if you want to continue in this system, you have to take that charagma in your right hand, left hand, butt cheek, forehead, for you to eat and be a part of society. So when that comes, it's going to be a big shakeup. A lot of people that blindly follow these leaders, they're not going to, if they're watching GMS videos, going to be a major shakeup. But guess what? What is our job? Our job is to tell people what they're going to do. And we're not going to go around when they stop. Well, we are going to go around and say stop doing it, but we're saying it now. Prophecy means to say before. Most people are not going to believe it because it's not here. Got another precept. I got a list of precepts, excuse me. Oh, and by the way, were the apostles or the disciples that followed the apostles, were they supposed to engage with the Romans and Herod's men of war in 70 AD? No. The Lord said this was about 40 years, 30 some odd, 35, 36, 37 years before this happened. He said, when you see the abomination that maketh desolate enter into the holy place, then flee to the mountains. Basically, he said flee. And some of them fled. They scattered in different areas. But a lot of them scattered into Africa because that was our next door neighbors. The so-called continent of Africa. So if they understood the prophecies, they would flee, not fight. Who fought? The ones that were Israelites that didn't believe in the Messiah. They didn't follow. They said, I don't even follow that and they ain't following him. So you had the Zealots, you had the Sicarii. You had a lot of different groups of leaders, and these guys were killing each other off, fighting against the Romans. And the historians say this, that they would have been stronger had they not fought against. They were infighting. Go back to that history. There was infighting, so there were certain leaders that were getting killed. Because what happened? They were carnal. Instead of listening to the prophecy that our Lord made and fleeing, when you see the abomination that makes us desolate, then flee. And it says in Luke 21, we will be scattered among the nations, right? That was during that time period. It says, and also in Luke, they shall make a trench about thee. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and put that in there. Trench. I know it's in Luke. I believe it's Luke 19 or Luke. Luke 19, yep. And the word trench translates into the word, I'm going to go into it. Luke 19, verse 43, for the day shall come upon thee that mine enemies shall cast, thine enemies, which are the Romans, which are Edomites, shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee round about and keep thee in on every side. So that was a prophecy. That's talking about 70 AD. And shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knowest not the time of thy visitation. Because he said, when you see the abomination that maketh desolate. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. See, if you're a prophet, you would not be involved in any carnal matters. Because the Most High is behind this. Okay, I'm going to read the 41st verse. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, because he saw what was going to happen in 70 AD, saying, if thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. What is hid from thy eyes? That siege on Jerusalem. How the Roman armies in Edom, Herod's personal men of war, was going to kill him, and that's what they did. They minted a coin. Judicopter. Judah is conquered. Go to Google and put in Judicopter. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee. That's why he wept. He wept over it. So the ones that fled were the ones that took heed or listened to the words of the Lord. They didn't say, we're gonna fight, this is our land, we're gonna fight for it. During the time of the Maccabees, that was a different time. They were supposed to fight for it. So our job as prophets, and if you can't understand this, you're not a prophet. You're not a prophet. You're just a man that knows you're an Israelite. We gave the right counsel and rebuking them brothers for getting involved in that. But now you got other men that's saying, no, we're going to go out there. We're going to bring cans and bottles and Pepsis and all that. And we don't know what's going to happen. Most high willing, the protesters are not there. So you're out there just teaching. Or the protest could be out there and the police, there's a stronger police force. Or they don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's a spiritual thing anyway that's going to happen. If the Most High wants y'all to go at each other, some of y'all might get stabbed up, killed. You might kill a couple of people. So there's going to be motherfuckers going in the hospital. If that happens, nothing might not happen. The scriptures speak about not following an angry man. So we're living in a time where the prophets are going to be revealed. Then it shall be known who are my chosen. The only weapons that we have, what is that? 2 Corinthians 10 verse 4. The only weapons that we have was spiritual weapons, not carnal weapons. So anyway, let me get into. See, I got this. As you can see, you can see this list. I'm not even going to be able to cover this whole list. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close this and I will come back. So what I'll do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this list right here. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. So you can say this